All right, guys, in this video, we're gonna go through how to create the lips in a low poly style. So we've opened up our folder, actually our file. We go up to Window, Workspace, make sure the Essentials Classic is clicked. And just in case, reset Essentials Classic. Now I'm gonna be looking at my layers. I wanna make sure that each one of these is locked except for the artwork layer. Now the last thing that we did were the eyes, the eyelids, you can see it right here, the eyes, the eyelids, the eyebrows, the eyelashes. We outlined the figure itself. So now working on the lips, I'm gonna zoom in. And the first thing I wanna do is outline the outside, just like we did with pretty much everything else. I'm gonna show you first some examples of low poly artwork when it comes to the lips. Now, Angelina Jolie, as you can see, the lips right there, made out of only straight lines. You can see the different colors in it. There's a lot of inspiration that I've gotten throughout things here in Pinterest. You can see how this person broke it down as well. Again, just outline the outside, creating shapes on the inside. The shapes on the inside should actually look similar to the form of the lips themselves. Like if they just went up and down or zigzagged, it wouldn't make sense. It would make it look flat. But in this case, you can see there's a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of a highlight at the top, shadow in here, because it's part of the inside part of the lip, and then this part where the light hits. All right, so let's go back to Illustrator. All right, so using the pen tool, which is the third tool on the left, make sure it's the pen tool and not the add anchor point or delete anchor point, but the pen tool. I'm gonna start up on this corner. Now for me, I have a mustache, so you can't see the top of my upper lip too much, but I'm gonna try to make it as best as I can. Again, only using straight lines. There you go. And there. The bottom part is a little bit hard to distinguish where to stop. For me, where I see these wrinkles right here and then it gets a little bit smoother and the color changes, that for me is an identifying part of the end of that section. Now, because I've just outlined that, I have to deselect it by the selection tool and clicking outside of it, going back to the pen tool, and I do the part in the middle. Go. I believe that's called the medial lobe, I think. And this is called Cupid's bow. Felt like it's necessary to at least know those terms right there. All right, so I've outlined each section there. Now you can see right here, it looks a little bit off. I'm gonna move this here and move this a little bit up. I wanna look at it without the photo as well to make sure it makes sense. Yeah, let me see. This should probably be a little bit higher and off to the right. This a little bit up here. Yep, that makes sense. All right, the next thing is I have to divide this into shapes. Now, I do see some things that already exist. Like for example, the little wrinkle lines right here. Those could be a determining like line to show you, just like we did with the bananas, like the lines that we create will make it look three-dimensional. But first, I actually want to outline the things that are the difference between dark, medium, or dark and light. So right here, you see how it's dark on the left, and a little bit medium on the right. Come around here, sure, right there. Hit escape. Now here, there you go. Okay, maybe even right here. Okay, now just like with the banana, I'm treating each one of the lips, the upper lip and the bottom lip, as its own banana. So what I need to do is create a line down the middle that mimics that shape. So here, I'm not gonna go into that dark spot because I know most of that's just gonna be dark anyway. So I'll click it here. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the top. And when I say mimicking the shape, you think either like the top or the bottom, but you want to mimic one of the shapes in there, the one that's going to make it look the most like it's three-dimensional. Here, I'm going to pause right there, hit escape, and then I'm going to go to this part right here. There you go. I'm not going to go in through that triangular looking shape. All right, now that I have it divided, I want to create shapes that, again, like the banana, make it look three-dimensional. So the shapes at the top will go from here to there. This one from here to there. This one more towards the middle. And then the ones at the bottom would go somewhat opposite. And then they shouldn't really touch because then it looks very computer generated, but in this section right here. And again, this is all like to your own preference. Like there are different styles. I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it, but this is one of the techniques that we're learning. Here you go. I'm creating one right here and maybe one right here. I'm gonna hide the photo. You can see how this bottom lip, if you just take the top part off, so you can't just take the top part off, but if you take this part off, you can see how this bottom part looks like a three-dimensional kind of like crystal of a bottom lip. Now for the top part, I do the same thing. I create the shapes that are gonna make it look three-dimensional. I don't want too many shapes, by the way, because I know a lot of this is just gonna be different shades of pink. This one opposite. Here you go. This one right here is important. This shape right here, medial lobe, I think it's called again. But yeah, that's gonna make it look more three-dimensional. That's a part of your lip that actually pops out, and not just pops out, but like it sticks out at the bottom as well. I'm messing around with this right now just to make sure that it's gonna stick out the way that I want it to. Let me see. Actually, no, I'll put that back in and just create a line right here. Maybe this one. Bring it in right there. Something is off about it, but I'll figure this part out. Let me see it without the photo. Looks good. And obviously when we go to color, it's gonna look different, but that's it. That's the only part for the lip. And then I'll show you guys the next thing will be the nose. Enjoy.